It's not every day that a legendary franchise stands at such a dramatic crossroads. Imagine the legendary black and gold, synonymous with grit and football greatness, now facing one of the most pivotal off-seasons in their storied history. Pittsburgh. Steelers fans, buckle up. The fate of your team rests on a razor's edge, balanced between two undesirable outcomes if superstar quarterback Aaron Rodgers isn't lured to town. Tonight, we take you inside the urgent conversations that are shaping the 2025 NFL season and what it all means for the future of football in Pittsburgh. The Rodgers pursuit. Hopes, headaches, and high stakes. For weeks, the Steelers' front office held its breath, waiting on an answer from the sport's most enigmatic star. Aaron Rodgers, now 41, remains one of the NFL's most capable and complicated leaders. Pittsburgh hatched an ambitious plan, entice Rodgers by boosting their receiving arsenal, acquiring former Seattle Seahawk DK Metcalf to create an eye-popping receiving duo. But as negotiations dragged on, the strategy unraveled. Just days ago, in a bold and controversial move, the Steelers traded their talented but mercurial receiver George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, netting a third-round draft pick for 2026 and a fifth-rounder for 2027. While Pickens off-field, issues had become a growing headache for head coach Mike Tomlin. Losing him is undeniably a blow to the team's offensive firepower, leaving DK Metcalf, for now, as the standalone playmaker in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers, known for his desire for stability and a strong supporting cast, might see Pickens's exit as addition by subtraction, considering the drama that followed Pickens last season. Or, just as likely, Rodgers could view the Steelers' shrinking talent pool with skepticism, doubting if there's enough offensive depth for a realistic Super Bowl run. The road ahead. Two unpalatable options. So what happens if the Rodgers gamble fails? The Steelers are left with a pair of deeply unsatisfying options. Stay the course with their current quarterbacks, or try to swing a deal for Atlanta's Kirk Cousins. Option 1. The in-house quarterback. Battle meet the current quarterback room. It's not inspiring. Mason Rudolph is the default, a steady presence since 2018, but at best, a game manager who counts on Pittsburgh's stout defense to keep the team up. Behind him is Skylar Thompson, who's shown flashes but never seized a starting job. And then there's rookie Will Howard led Ohio State to a 34-23 victory over Notre Dame in last year's national championship, even earning MVP honors. Yet scouts weren't entirely sold, and Pittsburgh picked him up in the sixth, the territory of developmental QBs and cap-friendly contracts. Insiders say the Steelers respect Howard's relentless work ethic, but he enters the offseason firmly as QB. Unless Howard can shock the world in training camp, Pittsburgh's path likely involves a duct tape approach, relying on Rudolph, hoping for a spark from Thompson, and keeping fingers crossed for a rookie miracle option. All in for Captain. The other route? Explosive. And Kirk Cousins, a seasoned veteran now 36, found himself unexpectedly demoted by the Atlanta Falcons after recovering from an Achilles injury that cut his Minnesota Vikings career short. Last year, the Falcons signed him to be their, but the front office stunned the league by drafting Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th, and then turned over the keys to Penix when Cousins struggled, throwing 16 interceptions in 2024. Atlanta is content keeping Cousins as a high-priced backup, but the player dubbed Captain Kirk wants to start. Here's where it gets juicy. Pittsburgh, flush with fresh draft picks thanks to the Pickens trade, could make a strong offer to Atlanta. They'd take on Cousins' $27.5 million guaranteed salary for 2025, handing the Falcons draft capital. In return, instantly, Cousins steps in as Pittsburgh's QB1, but this path carries heavy costs. Cousins fell short of expectations last season. Is it age catching up, or a temporary slump? More importantly, luring Cousins leaves Pittsburgh short on future picks, a steep price if he can't deliver playoff. Weighing the fallout, what would either path mean? It's a high-stakes scenario that has the Steelers' fan base buzzing. And, frankly, the case for staying in-house, you want to believe in long shots? With Rudolph, Thompson, and Howard, the ceiling is low, but the floor. The Steelers have a proud defensive tradition, and betting on one of these QBs to do enough while the defense dominates is not unheard of. Maybe, just maybe, the young Howard dazzles in preseason and injects. However, for all the history of scrappy blue-collar underdogs, NFL reality, teams simply don't win big in today's pass-happy league without a dynamic quarterback. A year playing it safe might spare Pittsburgh future salary cap headaches, but could also waste a season of elite talent elsewhere. The case rolling the dice on Cousins brings immediate experience. He's started playoff games, won in big markets, and command for a fan base starved for postseason success since the Ben Roethlisberger era. Cousins would deliver proven leadership and a more polished passing attack than anything the current depth chart offers. But would this be a Super Bowl move or just a Band-Aid? After all, Pittsburgh fans don't settle for mediocrity. And with draft picks gone, there's little room for a Plan B. Rodgers. The missing piece, or a dream? Rodgers remains the perfect fit in theory, a final puzzle piece for a team through. But if his answer is no, Tomlin and the front office will be forced to make a fast. Neither path thrills. Both demand patience, resilience, and the kind of faith that only football towns like Pittsburgh can muster. One thing is certain, the next chapter in Steelers history will be any. Final thoughts. A season. Teetering. No matter how the chessboard pieces end up this offseason, the 2025 Steelers are headed for a defining. Will Pittsburgh swing big for a veteran, roll the dice on youth? Or can Rodgers be swayed at the 11th hour to bring his talents and his legacy? Your voice matters. That's all for this special report. But we started. Steelers Nation, I want to hear from you. Hit that like button if you believe in the Steelers' resilience, and drop your thoughts. Which direction should this take? And is there any quarterback moving? Your insight fuels our channel and keeps the conversation going. Until next time, keep your terrible towel waving and your eyes on the prize.